In this video, we are going to demonstrate the characteristics that occur when there is a short somewhere in the electrical system of powered motion furniture. In this case, you can see that the recliner on the left side facing is in a partially reclined state. And if I walk around to the back of the recliner, we can see that the power adapter has the green light on. Now, for the purposes of demonstration, we have intentionally created a short in this system. And so I will show you what the characteristic is. If I come around to the side control and I push any of the buttons, the furniture will work for a moment and then it'll stop working. So I'm going to go ahead and push the front button either direction just to show you what occurs. So it's continuing to recline in this situation. Sometimes if you push the button, it'll move for a second or two and then it'll stop. Now I'm going to try to push, I just finished pushing it to fully recline. Now I'm going to push it to the closed position. I push the button and zero movement. If I try any of the other buttons, that was the lumbar retracting, that worked. I'll come back the other way. It is still working. You can see the lumbar moving up. I'll push the headrest button now. No function and no noise coming from the motor at all. So what I'm going to do is show you the power adapter and the green light as I'm pushing those buttons. And I'll do the headrest again. And so right now with the green light on, it appears everything's okay. The power adapter is working correctly. Now when I push the headrest button, you can see the green light goes off and then it comes back on. So I'm going to explain to you that I'm going to push the button right now. It's off. I'm still holding the button. I will let go of the button now, and you'll see that about a half a second or 1 second delay to where the green light comes back on. So this is telling me that there is a short somewhere in the system, and the green light is flashing because I'm continuing to push the buttons. I'm trying various ones. I'm using the lumbar one now and it is not changing. There I push the recliner base motor button and it's indicating that the power is interrupted somewhere. So what I'm going to do is remove the short and then I will flip the furniture over and show the diagnostics for how to check the connections to determine which component has the issue. Okay, so now I have returned the recliner mechanism back to its upright position. I flipped the furniture forward for ease of visibility while I show you the demonstration on how to look for the component that might be causing an issue with the furniture. I have also recreated the short condition that we are intentionally doing here to show the diagnostics. So our power adapter, the light is green and it is on. And then I'm going to reach over here and push the recliner button on the side of the furniture just to see what occurs. Okay, the light went out and gave me that half-second delay, and the motor did not move at all on the reclining mechanism. I'm going to push the other side of the button because I was pushing the close. I'll do it again. Okay, it's still giving me that half-second delay. I'll try to open it here. Okay, it's going to open and the power light is still staying on. I'll push it to return it. It does not return at all and the green light goes out and gives me the half-second delay. I will check the lumbar button next. Okay, the green light stays on and the lumbar motor ran both out and in. Now I will try the headrest motor. Okay, it's giving me the half-second delay again. And that was the other direction on the headrest. Other direction. So the headrest doesn't work at all. The motor for the recliner will extend, making the footrest go up, but it won't come back. And the power headrest is not working either direction. So what I want to do is start looking at the different components here. What I'm going to do is go to the other side and see if I have any issues. So first I will push the recline button, which will move this. We'll see if it works. Okay, it does work. Then I'm going to go to we'll do the lumbar next and see if that moves. It does, so no issues there. Then we'll do the headrest motor, which you won't be able to see, but you can probably hear. That works both directions. So doesn't appear to be any issues with the lumbar or the headrest motor or the base motor in this case, but I will check the connections just to make sure everything's working correctly. We have a connection here that goes up to the switch. It appears to be connected correctly. I don't see any issues with wiring, and everything functions on this side already. There are a couple more connections here. For this yellow one is for the headrest in this case. The gray one is for the lumbar. Those are connected. Everything looks okay. Now this is the side that is opposite where the power goes in. There's our power is fed from this side, and then there's a cable that runs all the way along this channel. Right back here. I'm going to follow that to where the connection is at, which is right here. We'll inspect that connection. It's together, the clamp is on, everything looks good, and we already know at this point that the problem is likely not on this side of the furniture. Motors work, the power supply running along the rail from the power is working. So now we want to focus on this side. So with the base motor, the recliner motor, it only runs one direction. So what I would do is push the button, and then I would move this wire around to see if I get intermittent working and stopping of the motor. These do move during the operation of the recliner, and after many cycles, there is a potential that there would be an issue with the connections becoming weak or damaged. So I would do that to see if I get functioning of the motor in both directions, because I'm holding the camera and I don't have the ability to actually demonstrate that for you, but that would be the first thing, this motor. Then I would take a look at the connections that go up to the lumbar and the power headrest. Obviously in this case, the headrest here is where I have created an artificial short. Same thing with the lumbar as far as checking the connection, making sure everything is tight and working correctly. And this short condition, obviously don't try this, but this is to simulate a short. And what happens, so this is a DC system, and the power adapter is more than just a power supply. Inside of them is also protective measures that prevent the rest of the furniture components from malfunction. So what it does is it shuts down certain components that it determines there may be an issue with them. So in this situation, obviously I've made it easy here with creating a intentional short. So what I'm going to do is remove my short condition. I will plug these two wires back together, and then Now as I push the buttons, the headrest motor is working, the lumbar motor is working, and the recliner motor is working as well. And I'm pushing the home button, so it's retrieving the lumbar in this case. So there is a standard way to walk through each component so that it's easier to identify which component is causing the issue. What we first do is inspect the entire piece of furniture for any loose connections or damaged wires. Then, if the issue isn't found from that, unplug all of the connections. Obviously, this one is a complex system, so I would recommend, numbering the wires so you know what gets plugged into where. I think 100% of these connections are unique, so it shouldn't be a problem getting them back together because they only plug into one connector, but numbering may be advantageous. So after you unplug all of the connections within the sofa, then you would plug the transformer or the power adapter into the wall. So in this case, I've got it plugged into this receptacle. Then after we plug the power adapter into the wall, then we would identify whether or not that green light on the power adapter in fact lights and stays solid. Then you want to start plugging the components in one at a time in the following order. After each part is plugged in, go back to the transformer and check to see if the light has started blinking or has gone out. Okay. If it has, the last component that you plugged in is the one that has the issue. So the order of plugging them back in is, first you would plug in the transformer, the power adapter, and then you would plug in any kind of extension cable that is included. In this case, the extension cable is molded into the power adapter and goes directly into the power port. So there aren't any other connections other than the one going into the power adapter. Then we would check if there is the power port, which this one has. So we would check the connection that the power port makes, which is inside of this arm here. I've got these tucked away nicely right now, so I'm not going to pull those all out, but there are, in this case, the power switch and the cable that comes off the power port tucked into here. So we're just working our way from the wall into the furniture. So we would plug in and check the connection on that power port. Any power cables that extend from one side to the other, or referred to as Y-splitters many times, you would plug that in. Then plug in the base reclining motor on the left side, and that's the power side. Just to clarify, the left side is always the power side. Then we would plug in the switch, the activator switch, which again is inside of this bundle here that's in the arm. Then we would plug in the headrest motor on this side, and then we would plug in the lumbar motor on this side, the left side. Then we're going to do the exact same thing over on the right side. First, we would plug in the base motor, and between plugging in each component, you're checking to see if the green light is on and that it's in a normal state like it shows here in the video. So I'm going to plug in the base motor, then I'm going to plug in the switch, this connection here in this case. Then I'm going to plug in the headrest motor and the lumbar motor, the yellow and gray connections there. And if you follow that sequence, as you go along, you should be able to find the component that has the issue. And then of course, we will get you a replacement part so that the issue can be corrected.